Hello everyone, this is the recording for Lesson 3 in Phonetics entitled Past Tense with ED and the Number of Syllables. Last time we have stopped in page 4, so we carry on with task 2. Past tense verbs and number of syllables. The ending of words are important in English grammar and pronunciation. Look at how the ed ending changes the verbs below. So we have the verb rent. When it is in the present tense, so we say rent. And we have one syllable. But when we put the verb in the past, and because the verb is regular verb, so we add the ed, so it is pronounced rented, rented. We notice that we have here two syllables. Because of the ed, we have added an extra syllable to the word. But be careful, not in all cases we add an extra syllable for the ed. We are going to see later on in the lesson the rules for that, when we add and when we do not add. So we start with task 2A. You are going to listen to the following words. You write down the number of syllables you hear each time. Okay? So I read the words for you in the past. They are verbs. I read them and you tell me the number of syllables. So I start. Planted. Planted. How many syllables we have? Yes, 2 syllables. Planted. Great. Next. Landed. Landed. How many syllables? Yes, 2 syllables. Landed. Next. Worked. Worked. How many syllables? Yes, 1 syllable. Next. Caused. Caused. How many? Yes, only 1 syllable. Next. Planned. Planned. How many syllables? Yes, just 1 syllable. Next. Laughed. Laughed. How many? Yes, just 1. Next. Added. Added. Yes, 2 syllables. We have add it. Added. Great. Next. Folded. Folded. How many syllables? Yes, 2 syllables. Folded. Great. Next. Treated. Treated. We have 2 syllables. Yes, we have 2 syllables here. They are tree and ted. Good. Counted. Counted. Again, here we have 2 syllables. We have count and we have tid. Good. Next. Started. Started. Yes, we have 2 syllables. Star and tid. Next. Watched. Watched. How many? Yes, just 1. Just 1 syllable. Next. Closed. Closed. Again, just 1 syllable here. Next. Opened. Opened. Yes, we have 2 syllables. O and penned. Opened. And finally, cooked. Cooked. So how many? Yes, just one syllable. Now I'm going to read all the verbs. Planted, landed, worked, caused, planned, laughed, added, folded, treated, counted, started, watched, closed, opened, and cooked. Great. As you can see, sometimes ed is pronounced as an extra syllable, and sometimes it is not. Can you find out the rule for this? Okay, if not, work the following puzzle. So we carry on, and later on we are going to deduce the rule. Task 2B. Task 2B. Great. It's a quiz. So the question is, what do all the verbs in list A have in common? What do all the verbs in list A have in common? So first, I'm going to read the verbs in list A. I start. Plant, start, treat, wait, heat, attract. So, what do you notice? Yes, good. All the verbs in list A, they end with the sound T. They all end with the sound T. Okay. How about list B? What do all the verbs in list B have in common? So I'm going to read for you verbs in list B. So we have land, fold, add, fade, load, record. So, yes, all the verbs in list B, they end with the sound D. So A, all the verbs, they end with T, and B, they all end with D. The verbs in C and D, we mean list C and list D, do not have an extra syllable. What do we mean by that? We are going to explain that later on. So, how are they different from the verbs in A and B? So, what makes the verbs in C and D different from A and B? We said previously that they do not have an extra syllable when they are in the past. So I'm going to read for you list C and list D. So list C: work, live, save, laugh, call, arrange. List D: wash, walk, cause, plan, close, contain. Great. So we said that the verbs in list C and D, they differ from the verbs in A and B in that they don't have an extra syllable when they are in the past. I think you could have deduced the rule. You may deduce the rule, but still we carry on with another task. Task 2C. Okay, task 2C. Write the past tense of these verbs and then count the number of syllables. You have verbs in the infinitive. They are all regular verbs. You put them in the past and you write and transcribe them, and then you count the number of syllables. So, we start with the first verb. It is already done. So, it is paint, the infinitive. The past is painted, painted. So, we have 2 syllables. Next verb, rent, rent. In the past, it becomes, yes, rented, rented. R, E, N, T, short E, D. So how many syllables? We have 2 syllables. Next verb is need, need. When it is in the past, we say, yes, we say needed, needed. N, long E, D, short E, D. So how many syllables we have? We have 2 syllables. Next verb is the verb want, want. In the past, it becomes wanted, wanted. W, O, N, T, I, D. So how many syllables we have? We have 2 syllables. Next verb is decide, decide. When it is in the past, it becomes decided, decided. De, short E, se, diphthong I, de, short E, de. So how many syllables we have? We have 3. Decided. Great. The next verb is select, select. In the past, it becomes selected, selected. Se, short E, le, e, que, te, short E, and de. So how many syllables we have here? We have 3. Selected. Great. Next verb is the verb visit, visit. In the past, it becomes visited, visited. V, short E, z, short E, t, short E, and d. So how many syllables we have? We have 3 syllables. Visited. Great. Next verb is the verb represent, represent. And when it is in the past, it becomes represented, represented. So how many syllables? Yes, 4 syllables. What are they? Represented. 4. Next verb is the verb intend, intend. When it is in the past, it becomes intended, intended. Short E, ne, te, e, ne, de. Short E, de. How many syllables? 3. 3 syllables. Intended. So this is the first list. What do you notice? You notice that in all the verbs, we have added an extra syllable. And we notice as well that all the infinitive verbs, they either end with te or with de. So whenever the verb ends with te or de, we've noticed that there is always an extra syllable because the verb ends, or the ed is pronounced ed with short e and d, and whenever there is a vowel, it means there is another syllable. We carry on with the other list, which starts with the verb open, open, and in the past it is opened, opened. How many syllables? Yes, it has 2 syllables. Opened. And the ed here is pronounced d. Next verb is the verb close. Close. So close in the past is closed. Closed. How many syllable? One syllable. Yes. And the ed is pronounced only de. Next verb is the verb like. Like. When it is in the past, it becomes liked. Liked. How many syllable? Yes, just one syllable. And the ed is pronounced to. Next verb is the verb watch. Watch. In the past, it is pronounced watched. Watched. And the ed is pronounced to. And the word has only one syllable, even in the past. The next verb is the verb clean. Clean. In the past, it becomes cleaned. Cleaned. And it is only one syllable. And the ed is pronounced de. De. Next verb is the verb return. Return. In the past, it becomes returned. Returned. So we have two syllables here, either in the infinitive or the past. So no extra syllable. Returned. And the ed is pronounced de. Next verb is the verb work. Work. In the past, it is worked. Worked. And it has only one syllable, and the ed is pronounced to. The next verb is the verb judge. Judge. In the past, it is judged. Judged. So we have only again one syllable, and the ed is pronounced de. The last verb is practice. Practice. When it is in the past, it's practiced. Practiced. So we have two syllables, either in the infinitive or in the past, and the ed is pronounced to. So in this list, we have noticed that there is no extra syllable added to the infinitive when it is in the past. So and the past is, or the ed is either pronounced to or de, contrary to the previous list. I think you may deduce the rule now. So now we are going to complete the rule. Next task, what do? You complete rule for the pronunciation of ed ending. Fill in the blanks in the following rule. So we have 3 stages of the rule. We have A and B and C, and we are going to fill in the gaps with the appropriate missing words or sounds or whatever. So we start with A. When the verb in the infinitive ends in consonant, we have a gap or another gap. So what do you think? We have seen that in the previous task. So when the verb in the infinitive ends in consonant, yes, consonant. To or de. To or de. The past tense has an extra syllable, and ed is pronounced what? Is pronounced id. Id. Short e, de. Great. So this is the first part of the rule. B now. When the verb in the infinitive ends in a consonant, what? Yes, when the verb in the infinitive ends in a voiceless consonant. What do we mean by voiceless consonant? Voiceless means a sound, when we produce it, there is no vibration of the vocal cords. No vibration of the vocal cords. We call this sound as voiceless. So, ends in a voiceless consonant except t. ed is pronounced, of course, t. ed is pronounced t and does not represent an extra syllable. Great. This is the second part of the rule. The last part of the rule, which is C, when the verb in the infinitive ends in a sound, so here the missing word is voiced. Voiced. In a voiced sound. What do we mean by voiced sound? It is a sound when it is produced, there is a vibration of the vocal cords. That's why we call it voiced sound, a vibration of the vocal cords. So, ends in a voiced sound, vowel or consonant, except the, ed is pronounced, yes, de, and does not consist of an extra syllable. Great. Now I'm going to summarize the rule for you. ed ending, which is the regular past, which indicates the regular past of verbs, simple past of verbs. So, ed in English may be pronounced in three different ways. It may be pronounced id, t, or de. ed in English can be pronounced id only in two cases. When it is after t or de. T or de, only two sounds. ed is pronounced t when it is after voiceless sounds. And it is pronounced de when it is after voiced sounds. This is the rule. So I'm going to read again the rule corrected. So, A, when the verb in the infinitive ends in consonant t or de, the past tense has an extra syllable and ed is pronounced id. When the verb in the infinitive ends in a voiceless consonant except t, ed is pronounced t and does not represent an extra syllable. C, when the verb in the infinitive ends in a voiced sound, vowel or consonant except de, ed is pronounced de and does not consist of an extra syllable. Great. Now we move to the last task. It's a kind of a dictation for you. So, dictation. You are going to listen to these sentences. You write the words you hear from me, and then you count the number of syllables in each sentence. You will hear each sentence 2 times. Again, I'm going to read for you. You don't have the sentences. I'm going to read for you the sentences. You try to guess them. I'm going to read them in a normal speed. Okay? I'm not going to read them slowly. I'm going to read them in a normal speed, but 2 times. And you write the sentences. You make a pause, you write the sentences, and then what do? You are asked to count the number of syllables in each sentence. Not in the word now, but in the whole sentence. Clear? You have an example. For example, go tell the teacher. Go tell the teacher. So how many syllables we have in this sentence? We have 5 syllables. So now you listen to me and you write down the sentences I'm going to say, and then you make pause and you write you count the number of syllables. So, Sentence 1. I'm going to repeat it twice. Okay. Sentence 1. Vegetables are expensive at the present time. I repeat. Vegetables are expensive at the present time. Please make pause, try to remember what I said, you copy down what I have said, and you count the number of syllables. Okay. I repeat the first sentence slowly, so I'm going to correct it, and we count the number of syllables together. So the sentence was, vegetables are expensive at the present time. Vegetables are expensive at the present time. Good. So how many syllables we have in this sentence? You make pause and you count. Okay? So, yes, we have 12 syllables in this sentence. We count them together. So we have vegetables are expensive at the present time. So 12 syllables. We move to the second sentence. I'm going to say it twice with a normal speed, and you try to write down the sentence. So, sentence 2. They walked to the store to buy chocolate. They walked to the store to buy chocolate. So, you write down the sentence and you try to count the number of syllables. You did? Okay. So, sentence 2 was, they walked to the store to buy chocolate. So, I hope you have counted the number of syllables. How many syllables we have? Yes, we have 9 syllables. We count together. They walked, one word, even the ed does not include or add an extra syllable. So walked, one syllable, to the store to buy chocolate. So 9 syllables. Great. I move to sentence 3. I read it twice with a normal speed. Sentence 3. He works in an interesting business. He works in an interesting business. Good. I hope you could hear the whole sentence. You write it down and you count the number of syllables. So what was the sentence? The sentence was, I'm going to correct, he works in an interesting business. He works in an interesting business. So how many syllables we have in this sentence? Yes, we have 9 syllables. We count together. He works in an interesting business. So 9 syllables. Sentence number 4. So I'm going to read it twice for you with a normal speed and you try to write it down. Sentence 4. He recorded everything and waited for the results. Again, he recorded everything and waited for the results. You guessed the sentence, I hope. You make a pause. You write it down slowly. You count the number of syllables. I know it's a little bit long sentence. Yes. So, what was the sentence first? The sentence was, we recorded everything and waited for the results. We recorded everything and waited for the results. So, how many syllables we have in this sentence? How many? You make a pause and you count. So, we have 14 syllables, and we count together. So, we recorded everything and waited for the results. 14 syllables. We move to the last sentence. As usual, I read it twice with a normal speed and you write it down. So sentence 5 is, I opened the closet and laughed at what I saw. Again, I opened the closet and laughed at what I saw. So you write down the sentence. Slowly, you write the sentence and then you count the number of syllables. So you make a pause, you write the sentence. So what was the sentence? The sentence was, I opened the closet and laughed at what I saw. I opened the closet and laughed at what I saw. So how many syllables we have in this sentence? You count, you make a pause if you would like to do so, and you count the number of syllables. How many syllables we have in this sentence? Yes, we have 12 syllables. 12 syllables. We count them together. I opened. Penned, one syllable. The ed does not add an extra syllable. The closet and laughed. Laughed, one syllable. At what I saw. So 12 syllables. So we have finished our lesson for today. See you next time. Thank you.